Fatigue is the #1 complaint of people who suffer from sleep problems like insomnia. But sometimes there are other reasons for fatigue. If you've been feeling tired lately and you just cannot seem to figure out why, I'm going to share with you some of the lesser known reasons why you might be feeling fatigued throughout the day. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay Dixon. I'm a pharmacist from Canada, and on this channel we talk about different health topics that are relevant to you to help you advocate for yourself in healthcare systems in a better way. Today I will be sharing some tips with you that I actually learned from this book called Goodnight Mind that is written by 2 PhD psychologists who specialize in sleep disorders. So as a pharmacist, we actually talk to people about sleep all the time. Sleep and lack of sleep, difficulty sleeping, is a huge issue for a lot of people, including for pharmacists. This book has taught me a great deal about sleep. One of the things I'm going to share with you today is about fatigue. So we know that fatigue can be a symptom. It can be a symptom of some kind of chronic illness, or it can be a consequence of insomnia. So without further ado, let's jump into some of the lesser known reasons that you might be experiencing fatigue. Anemia. Our body needs to be able to carry oxygen to all of its tissues efficiently. When the body can't do this, we start to feel tired and fatigued, and performing very simple tasks all of a sudden can be difficult. Now, this could be caused for other reasons, such as congestive heart failure. However, there are other causes that contribute to anemia, such as low B12 levels. This is much more common in someone who is older or who has been taking an acid reducer known as a proton pump inhibitor for a prolonged period of time. Another cause for anemia could be low iron. People who have very high monthly menstrual flow, people who have ulcers such as a gastric ulcer or maybe an intestinal ulcer, maybe even undiagnosed, may suffer from anemia. Even hemorrhoids can leave a person predisposed to anemia. So if you think that you might have anemia, or if you just have fatigue that's unexplained, it's a good idea to ask your doctor to check your iron levels and make sure that anemia is not the cause of this fatigue. Caffeine. Many people will start to drink more caffeine when they feel fatigued throughout the day. The thing with caffeine is that it helps for a short period of time. However, inevitably, there's always that crash that you feel when the caffeine is out of your body. When this happens, people start to think that, oh, I'm so tired because I didn't sleep right, when actually it could be the caffeine itself that is just worked its way through the body and you're actually just feeling more your normal self. Something else to keep in mind is this topic of pharmacogenomics. If you'll notice in one of my last interviews, I spoke with Dr. Ted Rosenberg. He noted that for himself, he actually metabolizes caffeine very slowly. So he cannot have caffeine very late in the day or he will be up till all hours of the night. So we all metabolize caffeine at different rates. That's why some people can drink coffee all day and still sleep very well. Other people can only have 1 or 2 cups, and if they exceed that, they'll really start to feel like they've been overloaded with caffeine. So remember, your consumption of caffeine does affect you, and it's okay to have that 1 cup or 2 cups of coffee in the day if you can tolerate it. But if you are crashing in the afternoon, that is not necessarily a sign of a lack of sleep or poor quality sleep, but it might be that all of the caffeine that you've gotten in your body is suddenly crashing, and that's what you're feeling. Body temperature regulation. So there are different times throughout the 24 hours in a day where our body is re-regulating its temperature. We all know that after lunch, many of us start to feel fatigued, and this has often been linked to a diet that is higher in carbohydrates. Say if you have a high carbohydrate diet, like a nice pasta or something at lunch, you tend to feel more fatigued. And it's true that fatigue can be associated with levels of insulin, levels of glucose. However, there is a time between about 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. in the afternoon where your body actually regulates itself to a cooler temperature. This can make you think that you are actually really fatigued, when the cause actually isn't your lunch, and it actually isn't the fact that maybe you didn't sleep as much as you would have liked to. However, it's just your body changing that temperature regulation. This also happens during the evening, which helps us to rest and cool down so we can have a good night's sleep. But it happens in the afternoon. Again, it's between about 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. So keep in mind, if you're crashing around those times, yes, it could be that you had way too many carbohydrates for lunch, or it could be just your body's natural way of regulating its temperature and not necessarily a lack of sleep or poor quality of sleep. If you're getting value from this video, please give it a like and subscribe. It really helps me on the channel and I appreciate your support. Someone who feels like they have not slept well the night before is less likely to engage in physical activity the next day. This is actually a double-edged sword because if you really want to guarantee that you're going to have a good sleep in the evening, you do need to engage in some kind of physical activity throughout the day. Now, it's important that you not exercise too close to bedtime and not exert yourself too much with any high intensity exercise within 2 hours of bedtime because this causes the release of endorphins, which are actually stimulating. However, participating in physical activity throughout the day is recommended even if you're tired or you did not sleep well the night before. Participating in physical activity today, even if it's just a walk for 20 minutes, is going to help you get a better sleep tonight. Now, there's a bit of controversy over how much water is adequate during the day. Your kidneys actually have a really good way of regulating and telling you if you need to drink any more water. However, a lot of people are dehydrated because they do not consume enough water throughout the day. So you probably don't need 8 glasses of water a day, or maybe you do because you're more physically active. However, caffeine intake actually acts as a diuretic, and it can cause you to become dehydrated. Other people who are on some kind of diuretic for something like hypertension may also be more at risk of dehydration. Now, don't go and start drinking liters and liters of water because this can also be a problem, especially if you're doing this right before bedtime, because then you'll be up through the night. However, dehydration can be a cause of fatigue. If you're feeling fatigued and you keep pumping yourself full of caffeine and it's just not working, it may mean that you actually should be drinking more water and getting some physical activity, getting outside in some fresh air, and that may help to relieve your fatigue a lot better. Chronic pain. If you are being woken up through the night with chronic pain, or if you are dealing with chronic pain throughout your day, this can definitely interfere with your sleep. It's important that you seek treatment with a physician or a physiotherapist who can help you better manage your pain. Often there are remedies that we can use during the day or in the evening that can help you with chronic pain. If you are not sleeping through the night and you're waking up with pain, this is something that needs to be addressed with a physician or a pharmacist, whoever is your healthcare professional. This is worth looking at and there is a solution for you. Anxiety and stress. Anxiety can actually be a factor that can participate in fatigue. Anxiety can also be the cause of insomnia. Different mood issues can also cause anxiety. All of these things can be interlinked and it can create this vicious cycle where you're not sleeping well because you're anxious because you're not sleeping well, and it creates really this terrible storm where we really don't have any peace during the night or during the day. If you are feeling very anxious throughout the day, and if you are just a person who tends to worry a lot more, then this is something that can definitely interfere with your sleep, but it also exhausts you throughout the day. We all deal with stress and we all have different levels of anxiety throughout the day. However, if this is something that is interfering with your ability to cope throughout the day and your ability to sleep, you really do need to seek care from a healthcare professional. And if the healthcare professional that you go to doesn't help you, go to someone else until you do find the solution, because this can be life-changing and it can have disastrous effects for not only you, but those around you. The immune system or allergic reactions. The immune system, when it's activated and fighting off some kind of infection, be it viral or be it bacterial, the immune system actually causes inflammatory markers to circulate, and this can interfere with your sleep. In particular, there's a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol can have serious effects on sleep, to the point that when someone has to take a steroid, like say prednisone, we tell them to take this in the morning so it does not interfere with their sleep as much, or at least it mitigates the amount that the medication will interfere with sleep. So if you're fighting off an infection, if you're fighting off some kind of virus, even for a few weeks afterwards, after you don't even have any symptoms, it's quite normal to feel fatigued. Also, if you've had an allergic reaction, that immune system has been activated, it's been triggered, and it's going to take a while for you to get back into a normal sleep pattern. Hormone disorders. Fatigue is a non-specific symptom that is usually resolved quite easily by asking a few questions and doing a fairly quick assessment of why someone is feeling so fatigued. However, there could be issues like hormone imbalances, hypothyroidism, different hormone issues that could be at play. And so it's good when you ask for blood work to make sure that you get your thyroid checked, see if you are in perimenopause or menopause, different stages of life where we might be experiencing more fatigue. The book also mentions that it is quite normal for someone to feel fatigued for up to an hour after waking up. Some people are more like night owls and other people are early birds, and when they wake up they are wide awake. But feeling groggy in the morning for up to an hour is actually quite common, and it is also quite normal. So if you've been feeling fatigued, don't necessarily think that it's just because you haven't gotten a good night's sleep. There could be other factors at play, other factors that should be investigated and can help you get a good night's sleep. Now, if you're interested in learning more about sleep and how it affects the immune system, why a lack of sleep can cause you to feel hungrier and eat more throughout the day, and some apps that might help you to sleep better that are based on cognitive behavioral therapy and are actually known to be just as effective as prescription medications, I'll give you a link to my sleep and immunity videos part 1 and 2 up here and in the description of this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care and stay healthy. Bye-bye.